I'm so
Yes,
excited to see you and hang out today.
I know.
I have some questions for you as a parenting expert, which now people are calling me this. I don't.
Wouldn't that feel like weird?
It is. So I know that Mother's Day is coming up, and this is something that as a biological mother or as a foster mother or adoptive mother, we have all these complex feelings and emotions about, but also, hey, we have children who have very complex feelings and emotions dealing with Mother's Day and that reminder that the family may
Yeah.
have changed the way it appears, changed the way we think about moms in this day. And for some kids, it's not a great thought. And for other kids, man, it's so sad. And so I wanted to chat with you and bring that up and ask, I guess, first off, how can we as parents, not just moms, but how can we as parents honor the bio relationship on Mother's Day?
That's kind of, well, it's not tricky. I guess it depends on the relationship. Um, I've had relationships where there was not that good relationship. So that was a little bit of a challenge. The one now is a really, really good relationship. But I can say just in general, what I always try to do, I try to honor them in some way, whether that be, so say for instance, one of the girls I had, she had a relationship with her mom. And I kind of just asked her, I said, so how are you feeling this Mother's Day? And would you like to get your mom a card?
Mm.
And because I do work with teens, it's a little bit easier to have conversations. I always try to find something good about mom or dad. I don't care whether it's they cook good pancakes or they made, they know how to make good burritos. And I think respecting the parent, even though the child may be saying negative things, honor how the child feels. But still, I never try to chime in on it. Like, oh, yeah, your mom should have never done that. Or,
Yeah.
those kind of things. I always just kind of go, wow, that must be tough. Or just empathize and reflect and just, honor how they're feeling. But I will never, ever chime in, not in their face, Because honestly, we have feelings, right? I mean, it's kind of like,
Yes.
man, this really stinks. And I don't understand. I always pray for my bio moms and parents.
Mhm.
Always pray. But some of the things that happen stink. And me being human, I feel for my child and I get angry, but they will never see it. They will never hear me say anything negative towards their parents whatsoever. So
Yeah.
that's one of the ways that I try to honor them during not just Mother's Day, but in general, is to really help them find something positive. Because I think if they can find something positive, it might help in the healing process or the forgiveness process. So I just try to stay honoring to the bio parents.
So good, Lesia. So good. I love how you bring up that there's almost, I mean, it doesn't have to be a concrete relationship, but there is a relationship between bio and foster or bio and adoptive or bio and
Mm-hmm.
kinship. It
Yeah.
might not be something where we see eye to eye, but we have something. And that something, whether it's negative or positive or whatever it needs to be at this point, it needs to also be separate of
Yeah.
the child's relationship to their bios. That is something where you are showing honor by separating those two. And for me, I also get caught up in the, well, I'm mom too, but then I
Yeah.
I still have to bring this up. So I have to sort of compartmentalize and
Mm.
deal with the elephant in the room and say, hey, do you want to say some words about your mom? Do you want to write? Sometimes we write poems, sometimes we write a letter. And then there's another time for me. So there are two moms. And when it's time for mommy number one, I step back. I
Yeah.
can't forget about that. And I imagine, what if it was a second marriage?
Yeah, totally, right?
You have to share. You have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't talk poorly about them. You can't, no way.
No, and I think it's kind of important too, because in my book, I wrote this section called Torn Between Two Mothers, and where kids are constantly in that, I like being here, but I know I should be loyal here, but I'm kind of mad at her, but I like it over here. Is she going to think I don't like her? You know, so there's that whole thing, and giving them the freedom to say, that's your mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You do what you got to do with your mom, and giving them that freedom to be able to not feel guilty about wanting to go see mom or thinking that they don't appreciate what we do is huge.
Right. You can't take it personally.
Exactly.
I think if you make it a competition, even if it's just in your head, it becomes a competition.
Right.
And that's super unfair. And especially with kids that are little, they feel that. I mean, even just the way you say, for example, would you like to write a letter to your mom? That is automatically, no, you can't. You have to deal with this stuff before you approach your child. Separate, compartmentalize.
Right.
That's a big pitfall.
It's all about how you say it and dealing with our own stuff.
But that's how we're supposed to have all relationships with people. If we've got some issue, we can't continually throw it in their face. We have to deal with our own issues. I think some people get hyper focused on that bio-adopt or bio-fost distinguishment, but when you reframe it as, okay, like two moms from a second marriage, you know, there's an infinite amount of, or what if it's two dads? What do you do? So we would never interfere with these other situations. You have two moms. That's just how it is. But when we get all hyper focused on one's bio, one's not, then all of a sudden it's weird. Why?
Right.
That's our insecurity.
Yeah.
Do you have any really good stories of a sweet moment between a foster or a bio or an adoptee and their mom, just something so sweet that you were able to witness?
So I do. It was really meaningful for me. So our daughter just had her birthday. Our foster daughter just had her birthday party, and of course, mom is not there. So even in that process, I kept saying, you know, I talked to her mom or text her. I said, what would you like to do? You know, this is your daughter. Mom wanted to buy all the food, buy the cake, everything. And so I was like, absolutely, come on and do that. So we had some fun during the day with she and her friends. And she said, well, I don't think I want my mom here at this park, because we went to San Francisco.
Okay.
And I said, okay. So when on the way back, her mom texts and says, can I help set up? This is going to be at my house. Mm-hmm. And so I asked my daughter, I said, well, what do you think? And she's like, yeah, sure. So mom comes over, mom sets up the whole table, and then we eat together. Afterwards, she cleans up my kitchen, washes my dishes, clears off the table. And she says, Lesia, I don't want you to have to do anything but rest once the party's over.
My mom doesn't even do that at my own house. What?
I'm like, well, and then she wants to take pictures. And she wanted to take a picture with us. And so it was just this really cool thing to where I still honored her as the mom. And I said, you know what, get in there with the picture, light the candles for her. And I just let her do the mom thing at my house. Yeah. And she was very respectful. And then afterwards, she just sent this really loving text about how grateful her whole family is that we're there and how much they appreciate us and trust us. It was heartwarming, especially since I've never had that before. You know, I've had parents that were kind of like, or either hated my guts, literally.
Yeah.
So this was the first time that they actually appreciated, and there was that working relationship to where we can put aside what's going on, our own stuff, and take care of, the daughter. So that was super sweet for me.
Yeah, I got so teary-eyed. I don't know, that brought so much emotion to my heart. I wish I had moments like that. We didn't even have, that wasn't an option. There's going to be no
Yeah.
communication. Um, and I just, one of the things that I remember was writing, and we were writing a letter to his mom. And
Mm.
after all this time and after everything that's happened, he was still pouring out, Mommy, I love you. And I miss you. And you wouldn't believe, I'm so smart. He's so smart now. And I'm real big and strong. And I can't
Aw.
wait to tell you all about it. And maybe one day we can. And I was just like, oh, I want a modicum of that. I do. I have that. But I think this is a boy that loves his mama.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I want to marry a man that loves his mom, and I want that quality in my son, and he's got it, and he's got double at this point. And I sobbed and I sobbed, and I thought, oh, I'm so glad he loves his mom.
And that's good. That's good. Wow.
What are you working on now, Lesia?
Right now, I am working on actually a little booklet on reunification, something to give bio parents and foster parents ways to make that reunification for the child smooth, and how the parent can just re-enter that child's life. The reason I actually got in foster care, because my mom did. She had boys she took, and she was 60 something, and she took them at 2 years old. I'm
Hey.
like, okay. But I saw that struggle when mom tried to re-enter
Mm-hmm.
and then reclaim her spot after all this time, and how that was such a big challenge for them and their relationship, and even in the kids that I fostered, and trying to get the parents, and that whole thing. It ways that it can go smoother, and a few other things. I really want to really start doing more training to help, or to actually recruit more resource parents to actually take in teens, and
Yeah.
just help equip parents to do that. It's just my heart. I love teenagers. And so if we can get them more homes, that would be awesome. So,
Good. And
yeah.
Lesia, I am so, so honored to have you, and your words pave the way for me in my book. I just am thanking you right here, right now, so much again, that I was able to include them as the foreword, and just set the tone to say, hey, look, you're about to read some tough stuff, but it is all covered in love. Hang on, get to the end, don't give up. And that was the whole point of the book. Don't give up. So thank you so much for writing for me, and the book that's doing amazing right now. I'm so excited.
Well, I just want to say that what you did, your book you wrote, is so courageous. When I read it, I was sitting in my bed, and I would going,
Oh,
yes. I was like, ah! And then I'd be like, babe, this woman is bad. She is. And I just kept going like this, and I was like, oh my. And I was like, this woman has love. This woman has guts. She is brave. I was like, hero right here. And and the courage to really keep it real,
yeah.
which will help so many people, because even in fostering, they go through this training and they come out, wide-eyed and like, I'm going to save the world.
I can do anything.
Yes, we can do this. And then it breaks loose and stuff hits the fan, and they're like, what do I do? And so me writing the book, I wrote about, hey, here's some practical stuff. And you going, this is the real deal, but I did it, and so can you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's easy, because we need to hear that. We need to hear that, not just in fostering, but in life, of people who struggled and people who made it.
Mm-hmm. But those feelings are real. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Bury them?
Right.
And nobody told me that while the kid is exploding and unraveling and evolving, and even if you're just fostering for that period of time,
right,
you're also exploding.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what's wrong with society is one thing is like they always only want to see the good because the challenging and the rough stuff is too hard to handle.
Oh yeah, but it is.
You know,
Exactly.
but it's like, well, I don't want to feel uncomfortable because you're uncomfortable, so let's just, let's just squash it. But that's how we're able to do what we do. If we didn't have an outlet, if we couldn't share our experiences or say, you know what, this is what I learned, take heed because this could get crazy.
Yeah.
We absolutely need that. And I appreciate you writing that book so much. I talk about it all the time. I was like, hey, if you're thinking about adopting, I know a good book for you. She's still alive. She's breathing. Everybody's okay.
Yes.
We're all still, we can do this. So I talk about your book all the time. It's brilliant and so well written.
Thank you very much, Lesia.
You're so welcome.
I had a blast talking with you this morning. Let's do it again.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.